Hello stuff lovers and fellow pickers and everyone else out there joining us today. As you may or may not know, my husband and I are resellers and we love to pick up stuff at garage sales and antique sales, estate sales, thrift stores, all that good stuff, and resell it to the people who are looking for such things, sometimes hard to find collectibles or little bits of nostalgia. So this way we get to share stuff that we love as well and make money in helping other people find their stuff. And I hope it's going well for you and that you've had good sales leading up to Christmas. Today we had quite the surprise because we realized there were a couple of estate sales, which is a little bit unusual here in Montreal. It is snowy and possibly kind of cold today. And we weren't expecting that in December, estate sales. So we decided to go and see what was there. You never know. Sometimes you do just get there and there's nothing. But it was just getting into that house, seeing some things that looked like, oh, this is sellable stuff, and everything was cheap. So we had a ball. I just wish there had been more things to buy, basically. It was also an interesting exercise in being discerning, because there were things there that were cheap, that were of good value, but they were things like furniture or stand ashtrays or telephones, and we'd be interested, but we don't have any place to store that, and tables, I'm not going to ship that. So we were really happy to see one of our picker friends show up, and they were buying all that stuff because they resell locally more than we do, although we do some of that, and they have more storage, I think. And it was fun to see there's enough for everyone and everybody's clientele, you know. But it was also fun to see that we got there before they did, and we got all the stuff we wanted. So, I will now share. I got these two glasses that are these brands of beer here in Canada. This was just in the cupboard, you know, they were probably 50 cents each, but they're a little vintage and they're very iconic, so I think somebody should like that. Some of the things we picked up, as far as I'm concerned, are not going to bring in great amounts of money, but I just have to say that when I see that kind of stuff, it's just interesting, different. It's the kind of stuff that, to me, would still be, I see it right away, I'm thinking, that's sellable. Somebody will enjoy that. Because it's good quality or because it's fun or nostalgic, you know. And so that makes me feel like I'm not taking all of this home and then I'll never be able to sell it. It's going to move, and so that's motivating. And sometimes I'd rather buy that for $2 and sell it for 20 than buy something for $100 and then it sits there for a while, because that's kind of all its money and I'm only going to get $30 out of it, and it's big and whatever. So, you know. This is a candle holder from the Bombay company, usually good quality items from them, and it was 50 cents. There is another one, but the branch has fallen out of the beak and I didn't want to handle it too much, but anyways, we will just affix it with a little glue again. You know, they were 50 cents each. I really don't know. I've seen some on eBay that are up for sale right now and nobody's bought them, so, you know, but I think they'll sell. I think they're whimsical enough and there's still enough time for Christmas. Ooh, when I saw that, I just thought, what a charming thing. It's like for your breakfast eggs or your coffee set, you know, and it's an umbrella and it's gold color and charming detailed little spoons that were probably, to me, that looks like something you would give someone as a thank you thing for a wedding, you know, sometimes. But anyways, I'll look forward to moving that along. This is simply made in India, but I thought a lovely pattern of peacock, and this is enamel. So nice piece of work. Just shift that over there. That is a cake slicer or whatever else kind of slicer, but it's fancy. It's little brilliant glass piece here, and you can definitely use that for a special occasion. Towards the end of it, I was looking around for more things to buy because everything was so cheap. And I see next to the sink this dish with soap in it, had a bar of soap in it, and I'm like, is this for sale too? It's just like, come on, because she's gonna say it's $1 and it's, you know, hand blown and everything. It's a nice color. Somebody might like that for maybe 15 bucks, something, you know. She's like, yeah, that's fine. So I was happy to get that. One of the first things that I saw when I came in was this little case. It looks like it's basically made out of cardboard, but it has metal fittings. And it's like handmade, or someone hand affixed things to it. Lovely vintage thing. And I think some people are gaga for luggage and that sort of thing. I think it's charming. You can still use it. You can use it to decorate. I think we'll make a little money on that. And it was super cheap. I mean, basically, she let me have a bunch of these things I'm showing you for about 12 bucks. So it makes me giddy. So I was really delighted with that. Okay, I showed you that and showed you that. My husband picked this up, which is an Italian product. It's a cookie press, and I can maybe even show it to you out of the box. And it looks brand new. It's a cookie press. It's a good quality product, and you know, it was something like $3, so we were very happy with that. This is still a good time of the year to sell things to make cookies and stuff like that with. Then he found this charming radio. It's a Sony. It's from the 90s, like early 90s. It has a lot of style as far as I'm concerned. I love how everything is diagonal on the side. Like, who does that nowadays? I just find that in the 80s and 90s, these geometric lines were very like, look, this is modern looking, and it speaks of a time, and it's just kind of charming. And you know, it's not going to be worth that much, but it is fun. I'm going to show you this amazing Caddy that my husband picked up in their basement, which is a Decanter, of course, in a antique looking car. And it plays Raindrops Are Falling on My Head, and it's musical, and it's a car, and it's a Caddy, and somebody will want this. I'm going to bring you this other thing that I just like because of the style. We have a tray, and a vacuum seal coffee carafe with beautiful summer beach graphics on it. To me, that is so 80s, again with the very geometric, very strong colors, very fun, bright. It harkens back to when I was a teenager, and you know, I'm sure some other people will feel the same way, and it's still something practical and in fairly good condition. So that was $2 for the 2 pieces. I grabbed that. I just put a pile together and I kept adding things and couldn't believe how everything was not expensive. This is a box in the shape of a unicorn. One of the first things I grabbed, because I just thought, well, yes, I mean, people who collect unicorns and, you know, like trinket boxes, and it's from Nemesis Now. So that could be fun for someone. Haha, never forgetting the jewelry and odds and ends. Okay, jewelry. So again, everything was so cheap that it just... this was the most expensive piece. It's a Timex. It's not old, but it's a Timex. I'm just thinking it's a good brand. Fairly nice. It was $5, and I don't pick up watches very often. Sometimes I just find them too expensive for what we'll get out of them. So this I picked up. They had some pretty awesome looking cufflinks. Those are pretty spectacular. With the Rivoli glass gem, so I picked those up. I mean, they must have come to something like 50 cents a piece, not even. Their necklaces were $1, and if they'd had any other good ones, I would have bought them, but I love this one. I love it. I love the shape of the glass beads. It's all crystal, basically. Aurora Borealis, blue, glass beads. Beautifully faceted. Oh, I just made a little heart. And it was $1. Some of the jewelry I pick up, I just really feel like it's not anything that's going to bring in a lot of money. But when I can buy it cheap enough, sometimes I'll have, you know, there'll be a surprise on some things. So I go ahead and get it. There were some nice gold colored spoon. I wonder if they're, I don't think they're gold plated. Oh, they say Japan on them. They do say 24 karat. I think they may be gold plated. Some people I've seen before, some people really go for these. So we have 4 of these and they cost me about $1. These say that they're 800 silver. And they are marked made in Italy. So, you know, I mean, something like this I might be able to sell $15 or so, maybe this too. Sometimes it's not so much how much we'll get for them, but it's if they're pretty much sure sellers. I like that because, you know, $30 that I'm only going to see next spring, but $12 that I can make today, that's encouraging. But this, because we've had things like this type of dish before, stainless steel, I believe. And when we know it's a Danish brand, people can really collect that. And this one still had its tag that says Denmark and its information. So for $1, I grabbed that. I'm also going to show you this platter, which is great for your turkey for Christmas or for any other time that you would like to have something in a big turkey platter. We've sold one similar recently for about $30 to $40. It's marked Japan on the back. This one's a little bit more elaborate, but it has a little crazing. But I'm hoping for upwards of $25. You know, again, it must have been something like $2 in the deal we made. Push the turkey back out. And now I will show you that we got, ta-da-da, an illuminated globe, and it lights up and looks very pretty and vintage and is probably from the early 80s. And that was just $3, I think my husband paid for it. That was in their basement as well. So definitely worth it, you know, somewhere around $30 that we'll make on that. It varies, of course, but that's what we can hope for. This is a bottle opener, which is also a fish, which is also a knife. She just threw that in. And let me see. Okay, moving on to the next sale. We went to this other estate sale afterwards. And we're talking about like fantasy dream world of someone's head. The prices were unbelievable. There was a decanter there that we have seen before and we've sold a few times. And I know for a fact that the most you could get for that decanter is like $40, $45 if you really want to reach. They had it there for $85. And it's one thing when you see the stuff priced at retail, priced at what people can expect to see and buy it for online or at the store. You know, you're going, that's fine. But that's double what people have sold it for. I have no idea. I think she just makes up numbers. That was just too much. It was too bad. There were a few things that would have been fine if, you know, they had been $5 or $10, but it was wild, very wild prices. So that's fine. But, you know, I mean, with these things, sometimes they had a music box that I thought was quite nice, but I looked at it and they started telling me, oh yes, you know, that's an antique and it's $125 and it's about this big, and it didn't look that old to me, and I saw a tag underneath it that looked fairly modern, so I'm going, and someone else who is a picker passed by afterwards and he starts telling them, that's not an antique. She's going, yes, an antique. And he says, no, vintage maybe. But she's like, oh, no, it's an antique. And then she started joking and saying, well, you know, it's just we're young, so to us it's an antique. And I just thought, don't flatter yourself, honey, you know. And when someone starts saying, even as a joke, oh, you know, it's because we're young and you better be 19, because I know, But, so that was entertaining. And of course the guy put it back down, didn't buy it, you know, but I thought, well, it's good for them to know that we're not all so besotted with your beautiful things that we can't think straight and go, not quite right. But she did have this great mirror upstairs in one of the bedrooms, and it's in the style of Lalique, you know. It's got to be not a Lalique, but it has this style of beautiful, fluid elements. This sort of half-naked woman with these cascading flowers, that beautiful, it's not really iridescent glass, but certainly frosted glass, which just makes everything look gorgeous and like water. And I thought, okay, I've never seen one, and I think it's beautifully detailed. It's all glass. May not be Lalique, but it's damn nice. And so she said $10 for that. I thought, yeah, that's fine. I'll take a chance on that. This poor bird, okay, has a couple of big cracks. You may not be able to see them. He's got a crack and a repair here. He's got a crack over there. But I don't think it changes him much. There's a chip here. I love the shape. Yes, our cat is joining us now. Yes, Bijou. That you like the bird too, that's good. It's still a usable thing, first of all. It's a cookie jar. Second of all, I really do. I love the owl shape, the roundness, the wide head. I just still thought I'd like to see if it sells. I'd like to see if it can go to a good home. So I said to myself, if she says like $5, I'll take it. And she said $5, so there you go. And perhaps the last thing that I bought was this festive Christmas related spoon by Godinger. And it has a Santa Claus on the handle. I thought this might be something you want to use in your festive macaroni salad. So we had a huge ton of fun. This was just so fun. It wasn't even just fun to buy the things, it was fun to see what other people bought. It was fun to see this family just really wanting to get rid of some stuff. And, you know, they were like, yeah, $5, whatever. And being able to see people who enjoy picking getting these great bargains, and we did too. So I'm going to say to you that I hope the ramp up to the holidays is amazing. I hope you have a fabulous Christmas, a magical Christmas if we don't get to see you before the holidays, but do watch out for us because we might have something else. And we want to say a special thank you and hello to Alabama Pickers because Dusty on Alabama Pickers was kind enough to mention us and give us a shout out in his most recent video. We've enjoyed their videos for a long time. They're good folks who just find tons of treasures that maybe other people wouldn't pick out. So if you haven't seen Alabama Pickers, you may want to check them out and go see what they've bought this week. Until then, have lots of fun and happy holidays.